I've always wondered why this airline exists. Soon, it won't. Welcome aboard ultra-low-cost carrier Sun Country Airlines, a carrier with a nationwide network, a single main hub where it isn't even the biggest carrier, and one of the strangest business models in the US airline industry. But can I actually buy any food on board, and who is gobbling up this strange operation? The only way to find out is to go for a flight. Well, good evening everyone from San Francisco Airport. I have had an amazing couple of days filming in Hawaii and here in California, and now I'm heading back to Boston via Minneapolis on an airline that has a very unique business model and will soon not exist. Yes, today we're flying Sun Country. So I tried to check in online and they said that I need to actually check in at the desk, so I am off to do that. It says over here that Sun Country is in check-in zone 1. I just walked over there and I didn't see them. So maybe they're further back? Let's find out. See, American, Frontier, JetBlue. I do not see Sun Country. Oh wait, they're over here in the corner. Here we go. Alright, got all checked in. Shout out to Matthew who saw me filming and asked me about my channel. So there was basically no line for security. Got through that and got through most of my pre-red-eye flight checklist. Got out my sleep mask and my pillow, put on some compression socks, and took off my glasses. You guys can see this better than I can. For me, it looks about like this. I do need to get some food, perhaps some proper food. Update all this was $11. Soon it's time to board. We head down the jet bridge to our Boeing 737-800, painted in Sun Country's older livery. Sun Country only operates variants of the 737. Seats on board are in a typical 3-3 configuration, with 29 inches of legroom. There's a full-size tray table and seat back pockets with cards for in-flight food purchases, Wi-Fi, and emergency instructions. Unlike many ULCCs, such as Frontier, seats on Sun Country actually recline. Soon we're pushing back and taking off. As a reminder, this video was made possible thanks to my generous Patreon supporters at patreon.com/classywhale. Pledge today for early access to videos. My flight from SFO to Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport is scheduled to take about 3 hours and 40 minutes. Camera me has gotta try and sleep during this time, so here's some history. Sun Country Airlines was founded in 1982 and began its first charter operations in 1983. Many of its original executives were from the recently deceased Texas carrier Braniff International Airways. You can watch the Only Nolans video about that at the link above, featuring yours truly. Sun Country soon moved its base of operations to Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport and launched scheduled operations in 1995. Over the years, it built up MSP as its only hub, with flights to almost every corner of the US and a few international routes as well. It even flew to London for 2 summers. But growth wasn't without its rough moments. Sun Country was rocked by a series of bankruptcies, sales, and changes in ownership throughout the 2000s, and by the late 2010s, their business model had shifted radically, transitioning from a modern full-service airline to an ultra-low-cost carrier, and replacing their first class with an all-economy layout. Sun Country also picked up a strange side hustle right around the start of COVID, when Amazon purchased a minority stake in the airline. In 2020, right when passenger traffic was drying up from the pandemic, the first Sun Country-operated Amazon Air cargo flights took to the skies, and as of 2026, Sun Country operates 20 cargo 737 aircraft for Amazon in addition to their passenger aircraft. Alright, welcome to Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. I had a pretty good sleep on the flight. It was a little bumpy, and there was one crying baby that kept me up a little bit, but overall I had a pretty solid sleep. I do sort of recall them making a lot of announcements during the flight, but that may have been my dreams. Regardless, we are here now in Minnesota, and we have a few minutes till boarding, so let me show you around here. Almost all Sun Country flights connect through Minneapolis. They have 11% of the market share at this airport, with a little over 3.5 million passengers carried between June 2025 and May 2026. They're second only to Delta, who operates a hub at MSP as well, with 71% of the airport's market share. Today, Sun Country flights are headed across the nation, with destinations ranging from Nashville to Anchorage. You can spot 737s here painted in the airline's old majority blue livery and in the newer livery with a bold orange nose, nicknamed the Tide Pod livery. I'm still getting over seeing more than one of these planes in the same place. Most US airports host just one Sun Country route, to Minneapolis of course. Alright, boarding for segment 2 to Boston, and I just got upgraded to seat 4A, so I wonder if that's one of the extra legroom seats. That'd be cool. And indeed, our second leg comes with a bonus extra legroom seat, with 33 inches of legroom right at the front of the plane. This flight will take us to Boston Logan Airport in about 2 hours and 25 minutes. Operationally, Sun Country is an oddball when it comes to US airlines. but that's really just because of its size and operating model. It provides a very similar product to a lot of other airlines and flies to many of the same destinations. The onboard experience is pretty standard. It just stands out because it's a traditional hub-and-spoke airline that only uses a single hub. This sort of operation used to be more common back in the day, when airlines were smaller. But for the last few years, I've felt pretty certain that Sun Country would be the next US airline to disappear, merged into some larger carrier. Southwest seemed like an obvious choice. It has a similar low-frills, low-cost model, flies only 737s, and could fold the MSP hub into its larger network. I test out the plane's Wi-Fi, which comes with a bunch of in-flight entertainment options and a flight tracker, but as far as I can tell, there's no outside internet access. Unlike many other ULCCs, there is a complimentary beverage service on Sun Country Airlines, but nobody ever comes around on my flight to take buy-on-board orders for food. Anyways, it was announced at the beginning of this year that Allegiant, one of America's larger ultra-low-cost carriers, would be acquiring Sun Country. This surprised me. Allegiant is known for point-to-point flights, rather than hub-and-spoke operation, and its fleet is entirely from Airbus. But the more I look into it, the more a merger makes sense. Both Sun Country and Allegiant have a strong focus on leisure travel, and a combined airline would have a nicely diversified business model, with scheduled, charter, and cargo flights all under one roof. Sun Country is currently owned by the Allegiant Travel Company, and continues to operate as its own airline for the present, but in the next year or two, the airlines will receive a single operating certificate, and it seems from everything I've read that the Sun Country name and brand will disappear after this. When I booked my flight, the Sun Country website had a banner advertising the merger, and some of the destinations I could choose from were on Allegiant rather than Sun Country. My flight itself had a base fare of $253, plus $13 for a window seat on my first flight, $11 for a window seat on my second, and $40 for my carry-on suitcase, giving me a total of $317. If I'd flown nonstop from California to Massachusetts on Delta instead, I would have paid a base fare of $248, had a carry-on for free, probably selected a window seat for about $30 tops, and gotten to Boston hours earlier. So Sun Country really wasn't worth my time or money in this particular case. But it was worth it for the novelty of flying a new-to-me airline in its twilight years. And other than nobody coming around to take buy-on-board food orders, something I realize now I maybe was supposed to ask about during the drink service, my experience of flying Sun Country was very normal, just like flying most other carriers. No particular highs or lows. And when I'm just trying to get home from San Francisco, that's a good thing. Allegiant is getting themselves a boost by acquiring this solid, if very quirky, little airline. But what do you guys think? Is Allegiant the right airline to merge with Sun Country? Did the little airline deserve better? Have you ever flown Sun Country and what was it like? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video.